Namaste. Har insan, every single one of us, influences others and gets influenced in return. It's just a part of life. But is all influence the same? Well, in this explainer, we're diving deep into the two very different faces of influence, one that seeks to control and another that aims to connect. So let's get right into it.
Let's start with a feeling I'm pretty sure we've all had at some point. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and suddenly felt completely drained? You feel confused, tired, maybe even a little small. You can't quite put your finger on what went wrong, but there's this fog in your mind, and you start doubting yourself. So why does that happen? Well, it's because we don't often realize that every social interaction is a kind of hidden battleground, and on this ground, there are two completely different paths of influence. There's the path of control, and there's the path of connection. On the surface, they might look similar, but their intentions and, more importantly, their effect on your life are worlds apart. Let's break that down. Think of it this way. One path is all about control. It wants to make you smaller, more dependent. Its ultimate goal is to shrink your freedom, your autonomy. But the other path, that one is about empowerment. It helps you become more of yourself. It doesn't shrink you, it helps you expand. Okay, so let's explore that first path, the path of control. To do that, we're going to open up the Manipulator's playbook. This is where we find all those powerful tactics from dark psychology that are used to control people. At the heart of this playbook is a concept called dark persuasion. Now, what is that? It's basically the process where you're subtly influenced to make decisions that actually go against your own best interests. Think of a salesperson who convinces you to buy something you absolutely don't need just so they can hit their target. It's done for the manipulator's benefit, or sometimes just to satisfy their need for control. Now, one of the most powerful tactics is something called intermittent reinforcement. Think of it like a slot machine. First, you get showered with intense praise and affection. This is called love bombing. Then suddenly, without any warning, all that warmth is taken away. Why? Because our brains crave consistency. This unpredictable pattern makes you feel confused, and you become desperate to do anything to get that positive feeling back. You literally get addicted to their approval. And then there's gaslighting. This is the subtle, quiet art of slowly replacing your memory with their version of reality. Let's say you clearly remember your partner saying something, but they insist, "I never said that, you're just imagining things." Over time, the goal is to create so much self-doubt that you stop trusting your own mind and become completely dependent on their version of reality. And these phrases, they sound so common, right? Phrases like, "that's not what happened," or "you're being way too sensitive," are classic gaslighting tools. These lines are a direct attack on your reality, and they're designed to disconnect you from your own experience. But manipulators have a lot more tools in their kit. As you can see, they create a false sense of urgency. This offer ends in 1 minute, so you react before you can think. They use their good public image, the halo effect, as a shield. They'll give you gifts to make you feel indebted and dependent. And when it's time for accountability, they use something called a controlled collapse. They suddenly become the victim, so you can't possibly be angry at them. Okay, so we've walked through the dark path of control. Now let's step into the light. This is the second path, the path of authenticity. Here, influence isn't about force. It comes from something called ethical magnetism, which is based on real, genuine connection. On this path, influence grows from genuine trust, respect, and a sense of psychological safety. While manipulation makes you smaller, this kind of influence creates a connection where both people grow, expand, and actually feel more free than they did before. This path is built on 4 main pillars. First, congruence. This means what you say, what you think, and what you do are all in alignment. Second, deep listening. You're not just waiting for your turn to talk, you're truly trying to understand. Third, mutual respect. Recognizing that the other person is a whole human being, just like you, not a tool to be used. And fourth, self-worth. You enter an interaction to give value, not to get validation. These pillars are what build the foundation of trust. And this quote just says it so beautifully. The essence of all these pillars is trust. Trust is like a perfume. It isn't created by a one-time performance. It's built through consistency, honesty, and actions that prove themselves over time, especially when things get tough. So, now that we've looked at both paths, let's put them right next to each other. This side-by-side comparison is going to make the difference between them crystal clear. Just look at the difference here. In every single aspect, they are polar opposites. The manipulator's goal is control, which they achieve through confusion, and the result is you feeling smaller. The authentic influencer's goal is connection, which they build through clarity, and the result is you feeling energized and truly seen. Here's the crucial difference. One reduces your freedom, the other one celebrates it. Okay, so we get the theory, but here's the most important question of all. How do you actually spot the difference in your own life? Well, for that, there's a simple test you can use. And this is the most important part. Your job isn't to go around diagnosing people as manipulators. Your job is actually simpler and, frankly, more courageous than that. It's to shift the focus from them to you. Simply notice what happens to your own mental clarity after you interact with someone. How do you feel? So, after any significant interaction, just quietly ask yourself these questions. Do I feel like I have more choices now or fewer? Do I feel energized or do I feel drained? Do I trust my own judgment more or less? And this last one is so important. Am I being asked to move faster than the speed of truth? In other words, is there pressure on me to make a quick decision without really understanding everything? So, the key takeaway is this. Your freedom truly begins the moment you start to trust what you feel, your gut feeling, your inner clarity, more than you trust their words or their performance. Your own clarity is your compass. Don't ever let anyone take it from you. Now that you have these foundational concepts clear, in the next part, we're going to take these same principles and break them down in professional and workplace settings, and we'll see how to navigate them when your career is on the line.